This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome back, Jason. First order of business. Okay, item A, for regular meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item B, Main Street reconstruction change order number 3. This, I believe, is the water main from Bruce down to the traffic light 7386.
Okay.
Is that correct, Peter?
Including the pavement. Which we're hoping that DOT is going to pick up.
Does anyone have any questions on? Would someone like to make a motion to make a change?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, item C, electric department invitation for bids for the 15 kV cable. If you want, we can do all 3 of these together. C, D, and E.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions on it? Everyone got the minute and a half blurb that, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item F, electric department temporary workspace agreement. That's the one that's going to be at our snow field and on the Fireland racetrack. To my knowledge, Justin Roy knows about, he's okay with it. Brad Hathaway is okay. It sounds like it's starting in the middle of August and finishing up middle of December. And Brad said even if it did go later and we ended up with a lot of snow and needed the area, we can push it aside.
National Grid.
Which we learned is not a company or something. You read the contract? So
Oh, no,
we're not an entity or something like
yeah,
that?
it has, there's subclasses off of it.
And Janet has also looked this over and approved it. Well,
Yes, I made
Yes, we appreciate that. Can you hear us okay, Janet?
Yes.
Okay. Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It passes. Okay, long last awaited revised website sales management agreement. Anyone want that one, Mr. Knight?
Just there was some question in town about having, are we the one being billed and then, or we're paying it and then we're billing the town?
No,
No.
well,
Well, are we
so
having
the grant was given to the village.
Okay.
So the village has got the money. We will pay the bill. From now on, any extra services will be split between the town and the village.
Okay, and then do we construct an MOU?
Janet said we did not need to construct an MOU, is that correct? Because the contract is written to the village and to the town. So that.
Under the contract, the town and the village are jointly and severally liable. If somebody thinks we have to have an agreement to say, we'll pay half and you'll pay half, that would be just between the town and village. But between us and Revise and the town and Revise, they can look to either one of us for full payment.
Because I think that it was the will of the town at some point to have an MOU just for the record keeping.
I don't,
But it doesn't necessarily need it for this.
I think Emily had talked to me about asking Janet. Janet is comfortable, correct, Janet,
Yeah.
that with the agreement?
Yeah,
I
I think it's belt and suspenders, but if somebody wants belt and suspenders, they can do it.
I think Mindy can go talk to Kathy at any time to get her.
Yeah, I think Kathy was the one who was driving the desire for it, just to be on it. Just throwing it out there, it may be a conversation.
Do not hold this up, Jason. We need to, we need to move this.
And also maybe,
Kathy and I will work it out.
and once we have the website in place, we're obviously going to have to maintain it in the future. That might become the time for those.
Sounds good. I'm just giving you what the conversation
And who was belt and who was suspenders in the village? Okay, so,
I'll make the motion.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations. Kate and Kelly, no. Item H, CHE hockey banners.
They're up now.
Because
This
it's
is
on-
After our last meeting, so you all unofficially approved it, but it just
This is
doesn't make
making
it
it
official.
Yeah, Today they swapped the
Okay.
state.
Okay, all right.
We need a second?
Second,
All in favor after the fact?
aye.
So fast. Okay, and then we have the Can-Am Pond Hockey Tournament 10. Will be on the Golden Arrow property, I believe,
On the lake.
on the lake in front of the Golden Arrow.
So moved.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
And abstention?
I actually,
Okay. Pass. World University Championship Speed Skating Event Bus Parking. That's going to be in front of Nitz Park,
In front of the oval.
in front of the Oval, I'm sorry. That's the beginning of March for their speed skating. And the idea is so that they can bus people in and out.
Right.
Right.
what part? It's just in front of the building, the big area in front of
There's
the.
a certain amount of spots. I think.
This came in just the other day.
I mean, they're asking for a drop-off zone, and it actually went to DOT, who said it's not them, it's us, who sent it to Chuck, who sent it, well, they were sent to me and Chuck. And Chuck said, this is fine, we can make it work, but we both thought the village should officially approve it, just to say it's okay. And the police department will work out the space.
And how big it needs to be.
It should be in front of their district.
Right.
So. It's fluid anyway, so they'll just decide.
Right.
Any other questions on that? Anyone want to make a motion?
So moved. Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
might impact our highest revenue generating.
Yeah, but we'd have to pay it since it's for World
yeah.
University Games
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, which is
They
kind of,
like that.
just kind of us putting it on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, Kay, use of Mirror Lake Beach for the USCSA award ceremony. I'm not mistaken, Jackie, that's the one where they talked about Nitz Park. We offered that over the beach and they went to the beach.
And it's every night, starting Monday, Tuesday, the 6th.
Tuesday the 8th, yeah,
Okay.
that's what they're asking. And Butch knows, he's really the one who's most involved, so.
I think it'll work out fine. They,
Especially with the 2 feet of ice we now have
Yes.
on the lake, right?
absolutely.
Yeah, I just wonder what happens if the weather turns and.
The weather's not going to turn.
Jackie is
I
spoken.
Yeah.
Of all things, would anyone have believed we would have gone out to the broom and got the water off the lake?
Or
Higher
after,
state.
after,
Couldn't
you
have
know,
done
make a negative something, but it is gonna be part of the board.
Snowbank.
So that's 40, 47.
I know.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Great. Anything else from the clerk items from before the board?
Actually, we didn't have a
No, there was
motion.
no
in
Anyone
a
make
second
motions?
on that.
I'll make a motion.
Thanks for keeping an eye on it. Then I guess we'll vote again. If anyone
Aye.
wants to change.
Who's the second? Peter, thank you.
Passes as well. Okay, was there anything to come?
There was one other thing. Chuck got back to me with the approval for Peyton Barney and Larry Barney to continue to be our taxi service drivers. So if it's at the pleasure of the board, we will approve them for the.
Can we get a new meeting? Man? Have you seen that thing?
We're lucky we have a taxi truck.
I'm sure he'd be happy for you to invest in his company if you
Really
want to
embarrassing.
buy him one.
I'm gonna put in for a leaf grant.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's something.
Normally, we would have time to have this sent to us in advance, but let you guys, I mean, we're familiar with these people and Chuck has approved them. We can either table it till next meeting or we can approve them.
No. I'll make a motion to approve.
So, second.
All in favor? Okay, we're back in the taxi business officially. Anything else?
And no, that is all.
And the warrants and affidavit, and Mark came in and did those today. Thank you very much.
Actually, Mark, could you just sign
Oh, yeah.
when it comes around to you? Yeah.
Everyone's had a chance to look at them. Any questions, comments? Motion to accept?
So,
All in favor?
Aye.
Anything, treasurer?
No, at the moment.
Okay. Okay, under new business, we talked about possibility of a joint hearing on Wednesday, February 21st.
23rd, yes, that is right.
You want to give us the details on that?
I think Jackie's more familiar, if she wouldn't mind, the.
Oh, the land,
It's going,
the land use code revisions, most of it is administrative. And last week we met with a couple of more solar energy provisions about where we would allow a solar panel. And then, again, Janet, help me, I saw your email. What Emily's proposal for cannabis use areas of whether it be consumption or dispensaries, that we gave to Tim today to rewrite and put into the land use code. The feeling is having information out to the public before they vote on it might be a good thing, but it certainly, if Janet thinks it's too soon, we can certainly hold back.
this public
So,
Huh?
so I think there's two things. One is the administrative amendment to the land use code that's been bouncing around for a while. That
Right.
was prepared by Tim Smith.
Yes,
Just last week, a new proposed amendment to the land use code was written by somebody, I don't know who. And I had never seen it. I called Tim, who is the land use zoning attorney. He had never seen it. I sent it to him. I think today we found out that he's reviewing it and rewriting it. So I don't think that is ready for any public hearing. The technical amendment to the code appears to be ready for a public hearing, but not the thoughts that were jotted down on the zoning, on the cannabis dispensaries and cannabis lounges. It needed some work. The draft of who needed some help.
Jackie, do you know if they want to go ahead with the public hearing, even if cannabis is not in there, or do they want to delay it? Is that a really good question?
for them, their vote isn't until November. They were pushing this for us.
In the last meeting, when I zoomed in a little bit from the hospital, I asked to separate the two. Because one is more like what Janet was mentioning, is more administrative, it's been worked on, it's
Right.
ready to go. This is still, hasn't been formalized, much like Janet was saying, and I don't think it's going to happen from the town's perspective, but it would be, we have maybe another meeting prior to the vote, that like maybe there's some additional time that the village could adopt just that portion of the land use code for that.
So go ahead.
The village voters would have a rough idea. The town might be still vague since they have until November. That's the gist I understand.
We looked at the frame and I don't,
Excuse me, the amendment would have to be done by both because it's going to involve a map change. So our land use code cannot be amended just by one board or the other, unlike our short-term rental portion of the law that says we can do what we want to do in the village without the town's approval. But my reading of it is that the amendment for zoning in or zoning out, where the cannabis businesses may be able to locate, would take both the joint village and town.
You're right, Jana. I mean, I think that they weren't quite ready and to do that by the 23rd. It might have been maybe early March potentially.
but we couldn't get that done
There's
by the time of the election.
Well,
It would
and
not be
Yeah.
voted on as a local law.
if I'm not mistaken, the whole intent of this was that people didn't think there'd be dispensaries in their residential neighborhoods.
It was, like what Jackie was saying, they will have a better, clear idea about what they're actually voting on. Because it's right now, it's nebulous, like.
Well, and there's also the fact that if the voters turn out to vote it down, then it's a moot point.
Yeah, but what they, some of the percentages, if they do, we have a sort of a framework in place to move forward with it.
And
But
I'm sure we'll-
I think the village board can certainly telegraph to the public where you're heading with this, subject to the formalities of passing a local law so that the information can be out there.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah,
That's just as easy.
I'm sure Lori can get an article in the paper for us on what's coming up on that. You don't want to put words in your mouth, Lauren, but. Okay, so at this point, then we still though are talking about doing the joint hearing minus the cannabis portion of that, correct? So we need a motion for that? Or do we just,
Janet, do we need a motion or we just say that it's going to
No,
be
you
on
can
that?
ju- you can just set the date of the public hearing, but I want to remind you, if you're thinking about the 23rd, I think you're going to have another public hearing perhaps on the 23rd that's going to spark a lot of comment. So do you
The
want
other-
to do both of
22nd.
them for the same day, same night?
No, we were talking about the moratorium one to be on the 22nd at the same night as our board meeting.
Okay, I thought the town had moved it to the 23rd.
Oh, I didn't know the town was involved.
There's been some emails that are flying around prior to this, and I have to go back. But yeah, they wanted to separate the two. So, I don't know.
And I think that's wise, but the last email I saw was that the moratorium public hearing was going to be on the 23rd.
Okay.
yeah, if it's going to be two separate laws, it should be two separate hearings, in my opinion. too.
Well, I think you're going to have a lot of feedback on the moratorium one. Not sure that the technical local law is going to get a lot of feedback because it's pretty technical.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're all in agreement though that we'll have the joint hearing for the land code revisions on the 23rd.
Okay.
Okay, for the administrative changes, yeah.
We're good? Okay.
So where do things stand with the other one?
We're going to wait until we talk about it.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else under new business? Anything under old business? Nothing under mayor items tonight? Any commissioner reports?
Kimball brought up the 120 kilovolts line, the transformer that he thought might be bad.
Oh, yes.
There's a part that's broken. So it's not the whole
Is that-
transformer.
is that
It can
good-
be-
good
it can
news?
be repaired.
That's wonderful news.
Instead of spending.
Well, but then I guess the question would have to be asked, how expensive is the part? Are we putting
Well, that.
good money with that or?
That we won't do.
Okay, so that,
But it's not replacing the whole transformer.
No, the transformer that's in question isn't that old.
But
It's
not-
rebuilt.
It's rewound,
rebuilt,
yeah.
It's rebuilt, rebuilt. And what was that? It was purchased, new,
under warranty.
but that's not the case. It is what it is now, so.
All right, well, I'm sure once he's had a chance to find out price, he'll let us know.
Yeah, we don't know how much it's cost to repair. It can be repaired.
Okay,
Is there a warranty?
No, it was an old, from 1978, 9 transformer that was rewound, I don't know how many years ago, not replaced. And, but that part didn't go bad. Different part. I don't understand the technicals. It's just not going to be $1 million. That's all I understand.
Old business, did they set a date for interviews yet? Or,
No.
okay.
we are also waiting on civil service to give us
Still,
something
okay.
besides
Yes.
a verbal.
Right.
Everything
Thumbs
seems
up.
okay, well, that's what we had in
You were talking about it?
2015.
Yes.
That's where we stand on that. Anything else? Okay, anybody from the public that would like to ask any questions?
Hey, I have a few questions. Can you all hear me?
Yep, go right ahead.
Okay. So can I just confirm the date of the joint public hearing on the administrative edits?
Which would be Wednesday, February 23rd. Do we have a time?
I am told it's 6:30.
6:30, that's right.
Okay, so that would be following the moratorium hearing. Last I heard from Emily, the moratorium hearing is scheduled for 5:30 PM that night.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't think we want to have them on the same night.
Yeah, and that would be a town hearing, obviously, so that's a good question.
do we want to approach it like in a unified sort of way, even though we have distinct jurisdiction over the different municipalities?
I would say no, I mean, we should have, I think, one for the village and one for the town, because they're going to be separate contracts. They're going to affect different people. I think it's best to break those out. But now if the town's planning on theirs and then they're planning on this date, like Janet says, we don't know how long the meeting could go.
Yeah, I think it's still being formulated potentially.
To which one?
How the public hearing for because there's going, much like Janet was saying, that it's going to, the STR one is going to generate potentially a substantial amount of public comment, and how to we have 30, 1 minute, 2 minutes per session, so it doesn't, everyone gets a chance to share, but it doesn't happen all night. Do we want to do that close for the village, so we're kind of almost in sync?
Well, we're not the ones that asked for Wednesday, the 23rd at 6:30. That was the town. And I knew nothing about their moratorium hearing, so I would assume at this point, let's agree to their February 23rd at 6:30 and strongly suggest they allow themselves more time or pick another night.
Or reverse the time so the shorter one goes first and just gets
Yeah.
out of the way. That's what we usually do in those cases.
Does the village board not want to do that on the same evening? Do we want to do it like on so 21st is president's, do we want to do it the 22nd, the village?
Your board meeting's the 22nd.
So we got that proposed now. Okay. All right. Trying to, I've had a flurry of conversations that are kind of.
But we also will be talking tonight in executive session, so nothing's been said on our end.
Oh, okay. Monitoring.
So I would say at this point, Lauren, I know we sound like we don't know what we're talking about, but it wasn't us that called for this meeting, but I think we can definitely plan on February the 23rd at 6:30 Wednesday. And I'll have a need to get in touch with you to confirm that.
Okay, thank you. I also, did I hear you guys mention the police chief position? Has someone been hired yet?
No, they haven't. We have 2 applicants and we're going to be doing interviews. We have not done that yet.
Okay. Do you have an expected hire date?
I'd be speculating, but maybe in the next 2 weeks would be nice. I think we could wrap it up in that amount of time, but it's really going to depend on how long it takes to get the interviews taken care of and go from there.
Okay. Last question. Is the village board working on any amendments to its SDR regulations right now?
No. Other than we are talking, as you've heard about, a moratorium. And the moratorium is so that the review boards can go back and look and hold public hearings. So not yet. I think that the step first is for us to discuss a moratorium. And then if we hold one, then that will be the time when there'll be announcements of public hearings to discuss amendments.
Okay, so you're considering a moratorium as well?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Whole part of the moratorium is to have an objective to review it and make recommendations for alterations to
It was part of what we were going to discuss tonight in
Okay.
the executive session, but since
potentially.
the papers fine. But yeah, no, as soon as we have something finalized there, we'll also let you know, Lauren.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Okay, if that's the case, then we will make a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I thank everyone for tuning in tonight.
Holmes.
Private is still on.
Yep.
Yeah, we're seeing,
Whoever private is, unfortunately, we can't. We
It
can't
might
have you be part of the executive session.
They're gone now.
Now, could someone log back in?
We'd see them if they did. They can technically, but we'd see it.
A little bit more-
That's interesting. I wonder at some
a
point.
little bit more
if we'll
dialogue
have
between the two
close out
boards about
a lot of
keeping
them.
this up.
We not record.
Oh, yes, thank you.
She's not.